Hello and welcome. We are here with the regional CIS minor, of course, and well, a little bit of a change. We've been doing WSG for the last few days, so it's nice to move back to some sort of CIS, some teams that I do know a little bit better, especially VwS. I'm not biased at all. Of course, for anybody wondering, I'm Tom, and this is Hugo going to be joining me for at least the rest of the day. I hope you'll last that long.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
hoping
be
to.
Thank you. We're at a more reasonable time zone now. We're not starting at 3 a.m. It
Yeah,
is
that's always
11
good.
a.m. So that's even better. We've had a couple of hours of sleep. So we're going to be more fresh and more prepared for these matches. And we are going to be kicking it off with a elimination match actually to start the day, which is going to be very interesting. We have VwS, your favorite team, kicking it off.
Yeah, I'm not biased at all.
No.
No, they're up against Quantum, and see, this is the thing with Quantum. I'll start with Quantum because I know I have a lot more to say about the Lithuanians, but yeah, Quantum are sort of a team that they've pretty much been around for a while. Like, I think they've been together for probably a few months, but they just change their name every once in a while. They're just like, yeah, no, we fancy a name change. We'll just switch it up. And so these guys have been together for a little while now. It's not like they've just started today and gone, yeah, no, let's try and win the minor. It's not in that sort of case at all, but it's still one of those teams where you go, okay, are they just a random mix? And I still feel like they are. I don't feel like they're anything like incredibly special. I don't think that if you were going to go, oh, are they favorites to win this? It's not going to be the case. Like favorites to win the event, it's not going to be the case. I think this is going to be a pretty close matchup. And then on the other side, well, it's almost quite convenient, really, because I have followed this team. They're one of the first teams I probably casted, or at least at least the team that at the event, they were sort of the favourites. They were always the favourites to win in Lithuania, and that's where I sort of started my casting. So to see them here now is quite nice for me. The only thing I do have to do is make sure that I'm not just cheering for them midway through the game.
Yeah, that would be nice. Not biased. If you want, you can just cheer for them the whole game, and I'll cheer for Quantum, and it'd be an equally balanced matchup. But I'm going to bully you when you start to be biased and say things that aren't true, because I know you will. But yeah, we should be starting in a few minutes. You can see the players reading up on the server now. And actually, ironically, which is quite interesting, not ironically, but coincidentally, which is quite interesting enough, both these two teams actually exited their group 2-1. So, quote, I guess you could arguably say that they are the two of the worst teams that made it through the group. Not in a bad way, but more in a way that they only just got out of their group, whereas the other two teams obviously 2-0'd. So we're going into this one. There is elimination, so the first team to lose this is going to be going home with nothing, and the winner will be going on to face the decider match.
Yeah,
I guess.
the loser of the winner match. So.
Yeah.
One team, well, after this, we will actually be following that match, and we'll be able to see which team will qualify. I think Team Spirit definitely looking like the strongest unit we've seen so far. They did beat VwS yesterday, and in quite convincing fashion as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them go on and go through. The big thing as well is, so far, we haven't really seen too much out of VwS. We've seen them do well against Rocks on Overpass, which was a team with like Hooch, but it was still a mixed team. It wasn't a team where you're going, oh my goodness, no, they've got an incredible amount of depth in their team. It's not anything of the sort. So whether or not it will be the sort of case where you're going, oh, okay, you know what? They have they're really conveniently pushing their way through. They're looking really strong. It's not really like that so far. It's like, they can play Overpass twice and win it twice. It's like, we need to see them on something else. Now, in terms of the map pool, I'm sure that we can get the veto up in a second, but we do know that the map is going to be Train. Now, a fairly decent map for both of these teams. I don't think either of them are going to be too unhappy with how this went. Obviously, VwS would have been quite happy if they could have got Overpass again, but I don't think that was ever going to be the case. Quantum would have had to make quite a big mistake to say, hey, do you know what? We're a bit of a mixed team, but we think we can do better than the one that had Little and like Hooch and players who've been around for a while and been in like decent level of teams as well. So I think it would be a little bit crazy for them to have let that through. Now, to say that we're going on to Train, this is where things, I don't know, I think they'll get interesting because I'm looking forward to the AWP battle. Now, obviously, for those who don't know, that will be Waterfalls and, of course, Luke or Lucky or Luke J or whatever you want to call him. It's always, that's the one name. Like, even though I've known this team for so long, it's the one name where I go, I still don't know how you say that. He adds extra letters in every time, I swear. It's just, it changes all the time. But he is a good AWPer. The Quick is another one who can pick it up if needed. I think in a couple of other teams, he did move teams at one point away from these guys. Because the fact is, so the roster of him, Kalinka, Taurus, and Luke have been together for ages. Like they have been around since I started casting. They split up for a bit. he went off into a team with Pound, who's currently in the roster. I think as a stand-in at the moment. I don't know whether that's confirmed. But they basically went together for a little bit, and then he went back to this roster again. They've actually just been much, much better since he did. So either way, we're now going to go into this one. We'll see if that team play can sort of be shown. And we've already got Pound with a Molotov playing quite far back on the site at the moment. It will be the B site that's going to be hit. And, well, so far there hasn't been any engagements, but the bomb will be going down.
Yeah, very aggressive post-plant straight away as well. Pound's going to be trying to hold things off there from the CT spawn. Not going to be able to get away with it. Goes down to Waterfalls, but the kill's going to be running very heavily in the favour of VwS as the retake is already on. Obviously, we saw earlier B is the easiest retakeable site in the game statistically. So let's see if QB can actually try and bring things back. It doesn't look very possible, especially with this bomb plant as well. Valvna isn't going to be able to stop any kind of defuse, and Vic will be able to get that defuse in time. CT side winning one, and that will be VwS taking it. What's really important to note as well is that obviously this is a best of one elimination match. You don't see this a lot of the time. Apparently the winners match is actually best of three, and the elimination and decider matches, both elimination matches are best of one, which is very rare, but that means that there's a lot of pressure on the line to pick up this pistol round. Each round is going to be so important because you can't just reset and come back into a second map, and obviously if VwS manage to take this one, they will be going to face a winner of all, the loser of All In versus Spirit, which will be coming up later.
So probably facing All In.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You never know. On paper, but we've had some interesting results this event so far, including Rox having a bit of struggle, surprisingly being a very well put together roster it seems on paper. But we are going into the second round.
Yeah, no, missed shots coming out from Kalinka. It will be an early kill, quickly traded out by Luke, and he's going to go jumping. It's actually going to be Pound to save his life a little bit there, and Luke will finish things off with a couple of kills. So nice round in the end. Losing one player, but I don't think that's too much of a problem going into this third.
No, and to have a look at the money, obviously, well, can't say it just yet, but I can imagine it will be another buy coming in through for both teams. Now, as the bomb did go down on that pistol round, so this is where things get a little more dangerous. And obviously, VwS not losing many rifles as well means, or not losing many players as well means that they won't be able to force up fully. They're still going to have a couple of UMPs, and that may be a little bit of a deterrent for them winning this round. But actually, we see Quantum with not a lot of utility. This could be dangerous for them. Yeah,
the thing is, like, because of that bomb plant, there's no real opportunity for that sort of bonus round to come in. So it means if they do lose this, the likelihood is they'll either have to force it up with minimal, like buy, or they'll have to just go into it with nothing. So it is a very important round very early on in the game. We are looking at the T side, currently sort of spreading themselves around, trying to find something. They're going to go jumping in, and Kalinka's going to get caught again. That's the second round in a row that he's gone down to someone over towards Pop Dog. This opening, well, the Ts, they can now just fall back. They don't really need to go for anything over aggressive here. You can see Barbina will go back up that ladder, and well, now they just have that man advantage, and it's going to be the CTs sort of trying to find something here. You can see Quick has pushed his way up over towards the sort of upper point of B, and he hasn't really spotted anything out yet. All he's really doing that for is information, and there's still 3 players. Well, the majority of the players still going to be on that A site.
And passive Ivy control as well we see from Pound. He's actually going to be forced towards the edge of the blue train, but now we see the entries. Quantum, they are going to be starting to lead things off quite well. Waterfalls does take down Taurus, and now these T's starting to split. Pound, though, he's going to be caught between 2 players. He actually gets taken down, going straight away, and now QB, they are going to be left in a 4 versus 2. Luke getting caught out as he doesn't know how to climb ladders, and Vic rotating back into the jaws of another player, but Undo does get dropped, and an AK going to be grabbed to at least attempt to retake here. Bomb plant going down. He takes down a second as well, but Waterfalls, he's going to be able to find the angle, hits off the shot, and Kavik goes down. So 1 round on the board for Quantum, but they've got to be able to keep it going. They can't afford to get reset because a buy will still be coming through for the VwS side.
Yeah, no, it was a nice attempt from Quick. He doesn't manage to spot the player behind him. So it is going to be the round, and the big problem there, Kalinka going down with no refrag, then Taurus is pretty much just, okay, I'm going to go aggressive, I've got to try and find a kill, and he's instantly traded out, and from there on out, it basically leaves Pound in a position of, okay, I'm completely surrounded, I'm screwed, and as you said, Luke doesn't know how to climb ladders. Aggressive push will come in though, Taurus and Kalinka combining, there's a player coming in from behind as well. This is a nice little bit of aggression coming out from the VwS side. It will be the push in the meantime onto A, and already we'll see the trade onto Quick, but nice shot from Pound, and he's going to grab up the scout as well. The tag coming in from Quick just moments before. Headshot as well, and maybe they're just going to be able to make this one work. It only It's My left, and he's got 3 players left to find.
The positive is only 1 player has armor on the VwS side, meaning that a retake, or well, not even a retake, but a round for the VwS side may not be as easy as it seems here. If he can catch out a couple of 1v1 engagements, it may be good for him. But you can already see these CTs are forced onto the site, despite him only just grabbing the bomb. There's going to be Kalinka, Taurus there, just around the edge of the default plant spot on Luke over in Connector as well. If they can set up this crossfire, he's going to walk right into it, it seems. If he tries to split towards his B site, it's not going to go well. He gets spotted out, he has 2 players to deal with, and Luke takes him down. Taurus is right on the flank anyway, so that would have been really, really difficult, even if he did get that first kill. But VwS actually resetting it on the eco, not going for that bite, and it will work out for them as well. So that is going to be 3-1, and the money on QB not looking good at all.
Yeah, and it looks like they're just going to go for this one. Now, I do understand the premise, of course, with an extra $1,900 going into the next round. It probably wouldn't have been a good buy anyway, so they've just decided, okay, let's try and reset them straight back. If they can do it, we can do it. Let's just go full-out aggression. And, well, before I can even say anything, they're already onto the site. Pound going to have to throw down a smoke towards Ivy to try and stop off this push, but it's not a brick wall. They're going to go running straight through it, and he's going to get taken down. The Tech-9's doing their job. Kalinka will be there to trade one back, but as he drops down, got to be careful. Manages to find one, almost gets the second, and it'll be back to a 2 versus 2 as Torres has picked up another in the meantime, but he's going to burn alive. He kills himself. 1 G's, and that's just horrible. Gives the opportunity away, and that is a big mistake coming out from Torres. It's looking like there's a few holes already in this VwS side.
That is just unfortunate. And in a 2v2, that is going to be able to basically lose them the round there. So not good stuff there from VwS, but maybe they can come back from it, obviously. We will just have a... well, actually, I'm not too sure on the economical state here. It's, we've obviously got the overlay, so just waiting for that to come back so we can at least see some kind of buy. Yeah, they are going to put together something, and that's actually not too bad. They've got a double up setup. They have got the rifles as well and a UMP. Not too bad. They've got a bit of utility. One smoke, however, is a bit of an issue, and they're not going to be able to hold off any pushes there, but still, QB, they are on a couple of Galils, or at least one Galil, and a Scout, which isn't the best on the T side. You typically want to have that AWP, but their money not strong enough just yet. And a reset, again, there's always potential with that to go back and forth as VwS. They do have a definite good enough buy to hold this one off. And while Kvik may not have any armor to support, this double up setup is going to be dirty as well. So positive things coming out here for the VwS side. And they've gone for the 4 stack on A as well. The AWP is going to be over towards Ivy, and on the default spot, that's Kvik there. And as well as one player pushed up very aggressively on towards the B ramp. That will be Tora. So he can easily spot any players pushing into this area, back off straight away, and then, you know, even try and take the man advantage from this angle.
Yeah, T's playing very slow at the moment. They haven't actually found out really anything. They're just still waiting around the back. It does look like it's likely to be an A hit. And well, now Waterfalls will go out. He's going to take down Luke straight away. 1 AWP done and dusted. Kalinka will be there to trade and quick. Well, he does what his name suggests and can find the quick scope, but unfortunately they're losing more and more players, although they have got the man advantage at the moment. The Scout onto Pound still trying to hold over towards the Ivy position, but in the meantime they are going to go rotating back towards the B site. There is nobody there, but maybe they can retake this as a team a little bit later on.
Yeah, bombs should be going down before these CTs get in position. They're just playing this safe. They know there's a chance that they could be hitting B, but they just want to say, all right, no matter what's happening, we're going to be playing this as a 3-man. We're not going to be splitting up and losing players, because if they lose one player, a 2v2 is not going to be favouring them as much here. But finally, back into the site, and he's found himself on the flank. He's going to be all the way in CT spawn. They're not going to check it as well. He's going to be in a great position, makes a jumping noise, but it doesn't matter. Sprays down 2. Oh, that's going to be massive. And now it's all on Pound to try and come back from this. He's distracted by the player on the site, and Fanak going to get this tag off with a Scout. He does eventually land the first onto Itzmai, but with no smoke, no kit, no utility at all, in fact. He's going to have to hurry up with his defuse. Tags him down and gets a kill as well. How do you expose yourself so much? VwS, they're going to pick up that round, and that is just unfortunate there for Quantum.
Guys, stop exposing yourself.
You know it.
That was a bit of a mistake coming out towards the end. I think both teams making like big mistakes in that round. There was no real reason. Like if somebody taps the bomb once, really like peeking that aggressively, it was almost like you've just got baited by probably one of the most simple plays in the game at the moment. So definitely not the right decision to make there, but in the end it doesn't matter. The reset should be coming in once more onto that T side. They do, however, get the bomb down, so maybe there'll be a little bit something to actually play with going into this next round. Now, of course, the CT side, they lost a lot themselves, so they're just going to be sort of forcing up. The T's not really going for anything too crazy. We will have the spray down from Quick, starting things off, and while it's looking like Kalinka just from up high has done most of the damage. Triple kill for him. It will be Undo trying to catch out a couple more players, but it's not going to happen. Luke will be able to find one more. Going to upgrade very slightly to a FAMAS, and I wonder if he'll actually be able to get an AWP. It doesn't look like it, no.
No money on the side of VwS, and that's interesting. Still, though, QB haven't built up enough of an economy to give Waterfalls their own AWP. Aside from a scout they've had on Fanat a few times, that is going to be it in terms of weaponry. So really quite lackluster, I guess you could say, on the QB side. But this has been very back and forth. The round's been going up and down, neither team being able to string together more than 2 at this point. So we're just waiting for this to eventually stabilize out, and hopefully we'll see some good old battles coming up later in the match. But this time, we are on round 8, and VwS, they are leading, but not by a huge margin. This is so far turning out to be a very close game, but QB, they can't get too ahead of themselves, and they can't afford to at least start falling behind this heavily here. While 2 rounds may not be great, it's still going to be close enough here, especially being on the least favoured side. And Waterfalls, that's a good way to kick off a round. Takes down Lugi, gets aggressive main, and now we see Quantum, they are in the man advantage situation.
Yeah, a little bit of over-aggression going in to that last round, and well, now we have to see whether or not VwS can cope with the pressure of having a man down early on. The T's, well, they're doing exactly what they need to do. They've slowed down their play. They're not going to go over aggressive, but Balvina, he's going to peek out, and that's really nice already. They've got themselves a second man advantage. The push is coming in from Ivy, though. Quick looking to try and make a play in from behind, but if I'm being honest, he's got to speed up this play. He is going to be coming in on the flank, but it may just be a little bit too late. They're going to go pushing back towards this B site. Taurus, he's going to have so much work to do.
But Pound's already realised he's rotated back into the connector. He can easily deny any kind of push here, and they do fire a few shots into the upper area as well, so that's going to give away a bit of information. But Waterfalls, that's just going to be a key shot miss. They finally do rotate back towards the A site, which will be the right call to make with Vic. He lines up 2 of them. That's going to be a double kill there, sorry. And it's while he will trade things out, the CTs are not going to be in position to go for the retake here. They weren't ready. They weren't prepared, and I can't even blame them. They only just, the T's only just decided to go towards this A site in the very nick of time.
Yeah, it is going to be the 2 versus 2. Undo versus Waterfalls. Well, no, Undo and Waterfalls. Pound and Taurus going to be pushing back in. They do have a kit on both players, but already Waterfalls will be finding one from upper. This leaves Taurus in a pretty difficult predicament here, and he's just walking backwards out into the side. That was almost suicidal. There was a second player, and Undo is going to finish him off.
Yep, so finally QB, they make things a little more competitive. They're going to build up the money as well. They can bring in an AWP onto Undo, and now VwS, they will just be falling short. They won't have a lot of money to work with themselves, and this will just be the full eco or likely low buy, I guess, from the VwS side. They get a couple of players on armor, and actually a little more than I expected, considering they don't really have a loss bonus in their favor just yet, which is a bit surprising. You'd typically not want to invest too much, but I imagine they will be going for the double eco here if they want to invest this much armor and already aggression up ramp.
They're going for the same play again.
Yeah, this is going to be good. Oh, Kvik, he gets caught out. Undo and Balvin, they're going to combine. This is just an absolute spray fest here. Pound's going to be the last alive, and he's on the A side to try and wreak some havoc. Does grab himself an AK to work with, but he's got plenty of players left to deal with. I don't imagine it will come through. Nade going to take him out, and QB 4 rounds on the board. Sorry, as they're looking to pick up a 5th. As the money, well, the money's great on him apparently.
What is this?
He's just dealing to the VwS players. He wants them to buy the AWP, but apparently not allowed to put real money into game. I'm not too sure.
We're just getting meme. This is probably something that was quoted within the Russian broadcast, and just it makes absolutely no sense. But I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, I'm not complaining at all.
That will be an interesting.
They get the buy though, regardless, actually, which is quite interesting. Again, still investing so much into the previous round, and now somehow going for that buy. But Pound's going to kick things off, and oh no, Kvik, that's not going to be good. Sprays into the smoke, and now QB, they're going to be left on just Waterfalls.
Yeah, no, a complete switch up of the last few rounds. They've been pretty close, and now just an absolute bloodbath, and all the blood is going to belong to one team at the moment. Waterfalls misses the shot, and that's going to be an AWP for Glinka to pick up as well, which will probably fall into the hands of Luke. So that's going to be something for them to play with. I don't know. He actually looks like he's looking towards Quick. So maybe they're making a decision. And yeah, they're actually going to give it to Quick. So possibly slightly switching up the dynamic of this team. I know that in the past it's always been Luke being the primary AWP. It could also depend on the map. I know that if they were playing something like Mirage, I think to take the AWP away from Luke, you'd have to be mentally insane. But either way, it is going to be the T-side buying back up. They have a little bit to play with. But they're still lacking a little bit. Like, in terms of the UMP, they got Tech 9, but a lot of that is due to just trying to get a little bit of extra utility on the board.
Yeah, the reason they're buying up here despite not getting a bomb plant is they know that VwS side will have low money while they do have good equipment. If they can jump right back on this round and reset them back down to the $1,400 loss bonus, it will look like smooth sailing for Quantum. So that's basically the name of the game here. If they can pick this one up, it will be very good for them in the long run as well in terms of picking up these last few at the half. And I do understand it, but it may not just be a good enough buy, especially not up against this AWP on Kvik, and they are just going to start to file into the B site. There's one player on the site, but his support as well towards a bomb train. Toras, he's ready and waiting. He's going to take one. Kalinka supporting Toras, re-peeks for two, and that's going to be a trade. 2 for 1. Kalinka as well, and Kvik just runs into through the connector. He doesn't want to miss out on the party, and the kill will come through. So a pause going to be called. I imagine that's Quantum's, and it will be a 7-4 scoreline now as VwS start to take the edge.
Yeah, of course, CT-sided map, so I don't think Quantum are going to be too worried just yet. Of course, you do have to be pretty good at the CT side, otherwise things can turn on their head pretty quickly. Either way, it has been very backwards and forwards so far. I think those last couple of rounds have edged things in the way that the map sort of should be going. I think that's the sort of thing that's coming on at the moment. The problem that I have is that, well, this pause, I always like to see pauses going into the buy. That's just my opinion. Like, maybe different teams can do things a little bit differently, just sort of on the line of, okay, we now have a round to sort of think about things, like maybe spot out a couple of positions and advance the strategy a little bit while we just have pistols. Of course, you could even think about the idea of maybe forcing this. I don't think they will. I think, again, you'd have to be a little bit nuts considering they almost definitely have a buy going into the next round. But, yeah, okay, one deagle. There you go. You've got one avenue of attack.
Yeah, and the interesting thing we haven't really seen from QB, you mentioned that they were likely a kind of mixed team roster coming into this event, is they haven't really set out any defaults yet. They've just been going for kind of rushes and set takes, so no defaults at all. And so you can probably notice that this is maybe a little bit of unpreparedness on the side of QB in terms of not being as well-rounded as VwS maybe, but we're yet to see them on their T side to make that certain decision just yet. So already the round going to be going to VwS. We have Alvin up, but he's not going to be able to pick anything up here as Taurus just holds down on B. And VwS 8 rounds on the board. They double up against the QB side, and now the buy will come through. So 3 more rounds after, oh sorry, 2 more rounds, no 3, I'm right, I can do maths. 3 more rounds left of the half here. And QB, if they can bring this up to a more contestable scoreline, maybe 6 rounds, I feel like that'd be good going into the second half.
Yeah, if they can get to 6, that would sort of be a bit of an average, I suppose. It's not going to be anything too crazy, but it will be just the sort of middle ground. But if it goes the other way, sort of 11-4, then VwS are going to be very, very happy with this one. Of course, as said, they do have a buy on the board. It does look like they are, it seems like they're setting up for something, but the position of its Mai is, it seems maybe just to hold off from Ivy and stop any sort of pushes coming in that direction. Either way, 4 players, or they were 4 players all the way down the right side. We will see a bit of a rotation from Quick. He has himself that AWP, and playing over towards that connector is always going to be a viable position for an AWP. He's going very aggressive. How close is he going to get? Okay, there we go. That's enough.
The issue with that position is if you push deep into B and then the T's start to hit A, it's very, very hard to get back into the A site there, meaning that he's going to be completely detached from the rest of his team. And he does actually go back towards A. I'm not too sure what the point of him rotating was. Maybe just a spot out for some players there, but we do obviously have Taurus and Upper to get that information for the CT side. And now QB, they're going to set up these smokes we said that was likely they were setting up for something here, and they definitely will be. 2 players coming out of Pop Dog, 3 through the main area, and with a 4 stack on the side of VwS, this may just be perfectly timed here for the CT side. And we can already see this push coming out. Kalinka trying to find himself an angle, spots out the Shadow, gets a kill as well. It's going to be dropped, and now the man advantage is going to be extended here as Waterfalls. He's going to miss that shot. Kalinka supports, and now it's going to be 3 kills for Kalinka. He goes in for more, and he won't get anything. It's his team to pick up the rest, and VwS, they're going to be 9-4 now. It is looking dominant from the Lithuanian side.
Did you see the reaction of Waterfalls?
No.
He literally just went straight back and just was like, what have I just done?
Yeah.
That was a big, big mistake. He's the man at the top of the board at the moment. He hasn't even had his AWP at all. I don't actually might have had it once, and then they lost it the next round. So, yeah, look, 2 kills with the AWP. Well, no kills with the AWP. No, 2 kills total. Now, that's quite worrying.
2 kills total?
I think that must have been somebody else that they've just put as the AWP because there haven't been any AWP kills. A little bit interesting. However, these Tech-9s did work out in the past. Itzmai's going to start things off exact same sort of round, but this time Kalinka has actually got himself a couple of kills. Pound, almost catches Waterfalls again. But it is going to be a 2v2. The HP very, very low, and they still haven't dealt with Kalinka. He is just beasting and feasting. 4 kills so far in this round for him. Tora as well. He's going to steal that ace away. But 10-4. 1 more round needed. And, well, then we've seen a pretty damn good half. Either way, I think VwS should be pretty happy with how this has gone. Yeah,
you were saying if this goes 11-4, we are going to see a really dominant half of VwS, and that is not good for QB going back into that second half. The middle ground for Train, as you said, 9-6, kind of an average score, 10-5 as well, and some mixed.
I think it was like a little bit older Train. You could see these much heavier CT sides, like sort of 11-4 was a bit more normal. But I think that's happened with a lot of maps. Teams have just worked out how to play the T side. It's well. his way of learning to play the T side is to just run all the way down the left side of the train. Pound is going to trade him out, but it's going to be Pound to fall next. And looking like maybe the 10-5 will be on the card, but this is the man to watch. Kalinka having an absolutely monstrous game. He's found himself another kill. He will be taken down on the site, however, and it's going to be the double AWPs trying to retake this site. The bomb is down, but not actually planted. It's just dropped on the floor. Quick will be able to push in, switches back over to the rifle. Taurus, he finds another one, and this leaves just Fnatt versus 2.
Bomb in the open as well. There is a tag on Taurus down to 20. A nice angle there from Fnatt, trying to get an elevated position, but Kvik will drop him at the end of the day. It will be 11-4 that we kind of were a little bit worried about going into this match, and that is going to be an extremely good half for the VwS side. I don't really know. I think QB having a real struggle with that one. They kind of just went for set rushes, and at the end of the half, it seemed like while they weren't even out of the game, they kind of played like they were tilted, just rushing into sites without setting anything up.
Did
No
that
smokes,
go
no flashes.
from 5-4 to 11-4?
Yeah, seemed like it.
It was like a really close beginning to that game, backwards and forwards. We saw a couple of Tech-9 pistol wins and some rounds where you're like, okay, this is actually going really well for the Ts. And then everything just fell apart. We saw a couple of really good rounds coming out from Kalinka. I think he has been the best player in the server so far.
Don't think that's arguable yet.
But now we go into the pistol round. Ts, they've got that Molotov. I think we can almost guess what that's going to be used for, either a connector throw or just be used for the after plant of the bomb. The smoke will come down, and now we're going to see this push onto the site. Only one player here, rotation not yet made.
Oh, Undo shot through the smoke though, going to turn around to try and spot out Luke, but not able to connect the shots. Balmina actually as well getting a kill. Another man advantage reigning heavily in the favour of QB. They do have this Molotov up towards the upper position for the bomb there, but they need to take out some of these CTs who are causing so much damage on this site. It's still Undo just distracting them. Well, the real problem, the rest of the players push right in. He's going to land another one here. It's a 2 versus 5, and nothing has been found from VwS. They're just falling at their feet, and there we go. Pound finally kicks it off with 2 kills, but Kvik not going to be able to find more than one. Defuse comes in, and I think even saving out a Molotov may have been a safer idea, but obviously what can you do when you got a 2 versus 5 in your hands? And nice, a round for QB finally, but can they continue, or will they be forced down?
Yeah, I think the Molotov, like, although the idea, I think they actually knew it was going to come, because the CT side had a smoke and a kit, so they saved that all the way to the end. This shot, just straight through smoke. Really nice round from Undo. It's very, very difficult to play solo B, and I think, does he actually survive till the end? Like, I think he holds it down for a very, very long time. Doesn't go over aggressive. Could have just been a one and done, but instead he actually plays things very smart. Now, of course, after the bomb plant, I think Pound getting a couple of kills means he can get some Kevlar behind the P250 he's purchased, and we do actually have Fnatt Rocker only on a 5.7, so interesting choice of weapon. Does mean that he's pretty much equal to these Tech-9s, but of course, that may not be too much of a problem. Of course, if he dies, he's only lost, what, just over 2 grand.
Yeah, and again, he does have the armor that only Pound does have on this T side, which makes things a little bit easier, alleviate some of the pressure. And you typically see this. You typically see people buying up just pistols, especially at this kind of tier of level of CS. When the Ts get the bomb plant, obviously they know they're going to eco, so instead of taking the risk of buying up fully and buying up a weapon and then letting one of your teammates die and wasting all that money on a weapon that you didn't really need, he's just going to save with a pistol. So say one of his teammates goes down, he comes back in, picks up the gun. It's a good way to do it. I really like it, but less teams do it because it is very risky in the sense that if you get down to a 1v1 and one of the Ts have picked up a weapon, it's going to be very hard. But now we see the A push come underway. It's going to be its might things off, but he gets overrun. P250 is going to reign supreme. A couple of kills going to be coming out, and the angle almost found from Balbina. He's going to get a bit of a tag off. Finally lands a shot. Luke, bit of an overpeak there, and Kvik will come back in with one, grabbing the bomb as well. But again, he does not have armor or a weapon to work with. But the Tech-9's more than enough. Another kill goes on to Balbina, and Undo rotating around the back of the site. Kvik, oh, the timing's going to get the better of him. He spots him out though, just waiting for the right angle to present itself, and he's going to jump right in with the aim punch, allowing Undo to take that final kill. That is going to be such an upset. They're so close for QB to pick up, for VwS to pick up that second round, but QB will just take it out of their hands. But still, the buy going to be coming out from the Lithuanians.
Yeah, no, really nice round. That was just their sort of eco to go into the buy. They dropped 4 players. There wasn't much of a chance for them to... They only saved one weapon. It was the one rifle that was kept towards the end. And, well, now we see pretty much a full force in from QB. They've had no opportunity either, just the same as the last half, to get themselves any money going. So if they lose this round, they're going to be back to pistols, and then VwS could be on to just take the map from there. So this is a big, big round for both teams. If QB win it, okay, they're going to reset the Ts, and it's going to go straight back. Kalinka, he'll start things off, but it is only a trade. And at the moment, well, it looks like the majority of players at least are over towards Ivy.
Yeah, 1-for-1 going to favour the T side though, just a little bit, as it means CTs are less going to be less well distributed across the map here. And That's able to trade, obviously, but we do have this triple push coming up from VwS. There is going to be a bit of control from Balwin taking that fight. Gets a shot off onto Gavik, tags him down as well, but the smoke going to block off his position here. He can still spray through it, of course, but there are going to be a multiple T rush here, pushing in through the smoke. Fanat getting fully blinded, and he's going to go down as well. Balwin trying to trade, but he's not going to be able to find the angle there through the edge of the smoke. There's plenty of Ts, rush straight out. And Torres pushing out of the Pop Dog as well. They're not going to be expecting that now. It's Mice Pincer on the site. He gets taken out from Pound, and this is just perfect textbook play from VwS. It's all an undo, and he's over towards the CT spawn with nothing left in the whole round on his shoulders.
Yeah, no, Torres, the peak towards the end, pretty much secured that round for them. But I like the use of utility. They throw a deep smoke. There was no real response in terms of utility for the CT side, and once that happens, they flash back through it, catch off a player completely blind, and that has already been enough to just send them back to pistols once again. Now, they have forced into this, looking like, well, if they were to sort of save and go into the next round, it would have just been Famai, so they may as well just go for it here. I suppose that's their way of thinking, and if not, they eco in the next round, get 2,400, and then they're sort of all right. But look at this aggressive push, bloodbath. Spray down coming out, Taurus Kalinka combining. They're doing very well so far this game. And Undo, well, I wish he could change his mind. Maybe Undo the things that just happened.
Nice.
It had to be done.
That's a good pun. Good pun. But he does actually manage to get one kill, so maybe not wanting to undo too much just yet. Gets himself an AK to take over towards the B site, but they are going to be chasing him now. Confidence in the side of the VwS team, and really, when QB, you got to look at the scoreline at this point. You got to start to be scared. This is not turning out for to be a very good match for them so far. Kalinka is going to find them the 13th round, and now I'm getting quite scared for the QB side. They are literally less than half of the rounds been found by the Lithuanians, and to be honest, I'm not sure how they can really come back into this one.
Well, yeah, after getting out of groups, fighting their way through, this is literally 3 rounds away from them being out of the minor and having a chance. Like, that's the thing, you look at this CIS minor, this is probably the best opportunity for some of these teams to get through, because obviously Gambit and Flipside both qualified as legends. So yeah, keeping the 2 spots, it's almost like one of those positions where you go, okay, this is literally the best chance you're ever going to get, because what are the chance of both Flipside and Gambit becoming legends this year? I think it's very, 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 very slim. So. Yes. This is a great opportunity. VwS, well, they're looking to grab it with both hands. Of course, they still have to face either Team Spirit or All In the next sort of matchup. But in this round, at least, as said, it is just going to be those sort of eco position. Quick may get caught out. Again, Waterfalls, he's just going to sort of crumble under the pressure, and it will be Pound to bail out quick towards the end of that round. They look like they're beaming at this point in time. I think they know, probably as well as we do, that this is coming to a close. Yeah,
and Waterfalls looking not too happy with his performance there. Unfortunately, just as you can see, not able to get that shot off there on the player pushing out of main, but either way, it was only a pistol round. Can't expect too much outside the QB, and now the buy will come through, so they're going to have a bit more weaponry to work with as well. They don't have an AWP on their side, but then again, neither do VwS, so it won't be too much of a handicap, and they do have a bit of utility to work with, but still no kits on the side of QB. And a bit of an aggressive push-up from Undo to start off the round, but they've just got a 4-1 setup here. Waterfall's going to be in the connector, right and ready to rotate if needed, but still able to support on the A side if they do notice any shenanigans from the VwS side going towards that position. But still, just passive play from VwS. They're holding this default and waiting to see if QB start to get aggressive to bring the fight to them.
This is going to be the standard. They've got that one player over towards the B site. It will be Undo. Got to be a catalyst for this team if there is a push in that direction. It is going to be smokes thrown in towards the A site, and it's looking like that is exactly where they're going to hit as well. Taurus going to be coming in towards Pop, and, well, they're just going to go barreling onto the site, straight through their own smokes. Taurus will start things off, but it's a trade from the CTs. 2 for 2 so far. And while very low on Luke, he's got to try and get himself the bomb down. Will be going for it, but no, he's going to get sprayed through. Balbina finding that frag, and now things are looking a little bit more problematic. Nice shot as well to take down Pound. It leaves just 1 man left. It's Taurus versus 3.
He's going to be in dire straits here. So many players to deal with. Gets 1 tag, but that will literally be it here. Finally, QB, they get themselves back into this game. As long as they can continue this, it's going to be smooth sailing for them. But the issue is a reset is very much on the cards now. If they lose this round, back down to the loss bonus they go. And it will just be the end of the game, most likely. So VwS, it's likely they're going to be buying up into this one just to try and challenge. Obviously, a lack of bomb plant's going to be a bit of an issue here by this T side, but they have got such a huge round lead that it's going to be very difficult for QB to really come back in. And we can already see the buy coming in from VwS. And now QB just going to be set up once again with no AWPs, but this time with a little bit more utility and a nice aggressive position from Undo to start the round. He gets himself some information, but it may be the wrong information here as he thinks he clears the angle. But just seconds after he leaves VwS, they start to make their way to the upper.
It does seem that he's given a call to rotate a second player in, however, so maybe he did hear them. because they were shooting out all the windows. So,
but then again, they are set up more towards the A side than the B side.
That's
They've got
true.
2 players out of Ivy, and as I say that, actually moving the players towards the ramp finally. So it could potentially be this B take, but with 2 players outside of Ivy, you'd like to expect something coming onto the
they're
A
gonna
side,
go
but
route.
maybe it is just a distraction or a push through the CT spawn. Yep, and Luke. If he gets into CT, they can finally hit this B side. But they don't even want to wait for him. They just rush straight in. Undo. He's got a lot on his hands here, but they're not going to check his angle. Still, he goes down to Kalinka. That's not good at all. But Luke wrapping himself through the CT spawn, going to be able to create the distraction. Take down It's My. Waterfall's already on that retake. He's going to find 2. Has to get the reload, though. And it is going to be a 3v2. Now favouring QB. And there we go. Waterfalls is just going to absolutely eliminate the entirety of the team. VwS, they fall. And QB, they don't allow this reset. They say no. 8 rounds on the board of the Russian side.
I don't know what just happened. It seemed like the stars were aligning for VwS in that round. They had the flank coming in, they had the entries onto the side, they had a 2-man advantage, and then one man just decides to step up. Waterfalls, the man who's made a couple of mistakes but is still at the top of the board for his team, and this is why he just walks in, finds 3 players, nobody able to capitalize on him, and well, really, that should have been a round. Without his heroics, that would not have been the case.
Definitely not, but still VwS bombed down. They're going to be able to continue to buy here, and that's the thing. The more rounds they lose, the more money they get, the more buyers they get, and even an AWP could be brought in eventually here. So the issue is for QB is if they keep picking up rounds, they keep feeding money to VwS in terms of bomb plants and loss bonus, which eventually will come back to haunt them. That's the nature of CS here, but at least this time, QB are going to be up on that AWP. We have Fanat on that. We don't have an AWP still on the VwS side, but it's not going to be too much of an issue. That is just a barrage of nades.
Yeah, twice now he's just been hit, losing 67 HP. And that's not the start that they would have wanted for Babine. Now, looking at this setup once again, they seem quite dedicated over towards this IV position. I suppose they have had quite a bit of success in being able to take it. Now, you can see that the CTs have sort of tried to push themselves around it. They have a couple of players in a bit of a crossfire. The smoke will fall down, but there's a gap in it. This could be absolutely perfect. I think they may have spotted it themselves. They're going to go for a bit of a boost over the top of the box, and that's just going to be the spray. Nice shot from Luke. Catches Valbina. Will be traded by Waterfalls, the man of the moment, and he's going to try and bring things back.
You barely ever see that boost as well, so it's going to completely catch him off guard, and I'm not really surprised. At least a trade does come through, but now Waterfalls, he's surrounded by players coming out of Ivy and out of Hot Dog as well. Kalinka does manage to kick one off with an entry. He doesn't trade things out, and that's going to be so bad for him as well. Kvik does follow up, and now 2 players remaining for the QB side. They're going to come back from a 2-man deficit, and while there are a couple of tags in the AWP, it's still going to be rendered as the same as usual. We can already see Kvik pushing into the connector to take down that, and now Undo, he is alone, pushing in through the CT spawn, won't find anything. Pound gets a headshot, just almost pre-firing around the edge of the angle. A match point, it is going to be found there for VwS. It's looking very, very close here, and I don't really know what QB can come back into this. But
Pound looking pretty happy with that one. A little bit of a smirk. I think they can tell that this is getting pretty close. I wonder if the CTs are actually going to have the money to buy. That's the big thing. They did have a couple of reasonable rounds, but it hasn't been anything too crazy. Of course, we can hear the footsteps while looking at Torres's face, and well, that is sort of, well, that sort of exactly explains how close these last couple of rounds have been. Undo is going to have a rifle. The rest of the team are not. And I would have actually quite liked to see that rifle go over to Waterfalls. I think he has been the one player that's been able to capitalize on any mistakes VwS make and actually try and retake sites alone. So yes, I sort of understand that sort of, okay, don't just give a rifle over, but at the same time, I would have liked to see it in his hands. We'll see whether or not he can do the same with the Deagle. Of course, this is the CIS, the home of the Deagle, and we'll see whether or not that can be the case.
And for that, he's going to be playing this close angle. Pistol going to be favoured here, but they will be able to check it at least. Nice kill coming off first delete, but it is going to be the trade still. Balbina with the mag 7 trying to find himself the angle. Ooh. Does get a shot through the smoke. That's Kvik falling. And now the man advantage in the hands of QB, but they have to capitalise. They can't afford to get traded, and they won't. It's My pushes in through, but he does go down eventually. Still, it is a one for one, and with QB already possessing the man advantage, they're going to be back into the 3v2 now. So VwS want to regroup and retry and try and retake a site, or not retake, but take a site here. And it's likely they can really hit towards B at this point. Torres is going to be pushed towards this ramp area. We can already see QB are going to be aware of the potential of this. Waterfall's rotating back through the connector there just to sit on the site with Undo, who's going to be playing that close angle just below the upper area. So this could be really, really good for QB. They're going to have a upper spotting player, or you'd like to think Waterfalls would, but he gives away his position with a spray anyway, or the tap anyway. Undo does land the first shot. Torres goes down, and a bit too preemptive with that one as Pound wasn't able to put out his utility. Finally smokes, flashes as well. He knows where this close angle player is, but with 15 seconds on the clock, he has to get the bomb down. Gonna just get shot in the face. Undo finishes up the round for QB.
Smart play from Undo there, because his position was telegraphed, so for him to peek, basically gave anything away the Pound could have done. Of course, out with a nade in his hand, was never going to get that one finished off. And a nice little round coming in there from the CT side. They managed to win it with just the pistols. It probably would have gone their way anyway, even if they had lost the player on the site, because Balvina had now picked up an AWP, and they are going to retrieve quite a bit of economy for free. Now, for Nat, he's going to have that AWP in hand, and the rest of the team will have full rifles and utility, so a much better buy coming in. A good opportunity to try and get themselves back into this game now quick. He will be shooting through the smoke, trying to find himself something early on, but they're not going to get any damage this time, and you can already see they're not holding over towards that left side of Ivy anymore since the amount of damage that came in from the nades. It's always like, nah, not going to do that.
Yeah, this time no HEs on the side of VwS, so they prioritise the Molotovs. A little more money to work with. They are sugar daddies today, and they're going to be finally working up their Ivy push as Balbina just backs off towards the CT spawn. Very, very many flashes coming through as well. That's going to blind him for the time being, and it's my... Oh no, they could be the snake in the grass. Balbina turning away from another flash. The push eventually should be coming in here, but they go for the boost. He could just spray it down. Actually tags down Luke to 10 HP, but no kill coming through. Either way, he can relay that information to his teammates, but it might not matter, because Kalinka, he's getting himself another kill. Undo wraps through CT, gets himself one to Kvik, but again, Toras just putting waterfalls into the ground. This is just QB falling one by one, and they know exactly where Undo is, but still he's going to get one shot, almost a second as well, not able to deny the bomb plant, and Fnatic coming back in for the 1v3.
This push, nice position, and well, there we go. Luke is going to be there to finish off. I just want to point out, before we actually go into sort of post-game analysis, how many times did they push Ivy, then Taurus and Kalinka just come out of A main and then come out of the position, pop dog? What's that, like 4 or 5 times? And it worked, I think, 4 out of 5 times. It's a little bit ridiculous that was so successful. And the A-site hold was clearly something that was a little bit problematic for the Quantum side.
Yeah, very much so. QB eventually did try and bring it back, but it's not going to go in their favour. We will see them eliminated from the minor here in 4th place. Obviously, VwS are going to be going to play the decider match, obviously, between the loser of All In versus Spirit, which will be coming up next. That is going to be a best of 3 as well. And then, you know, VwS, if you think about it, only one best of 3 away from qualifying for the major qualifier for ELEAGUE in 2017, January in Atlanta, which is going to be a great major, I'm sure. But the qualifiers, at least, the offline qualifiers, I think are looking almost as good as the major in a sense.
Yeah, I think like whoever it is to get through, Team Spirit I think are fairly likely to be one of the teams at least, but they are going to have their absolute work cut out. I remember yesterday we were sort of going through all the teams that could realistically go through, and when you even look at, like, say, the American qualifier which is going on, you still have teams like Cloud9, Immortals to be added to that list. TSM maybe, like, they're the 3 teams that are likely. I think Echo Fox probably not. You never know. That might be the little bit of a... We've seen Splice get through before, so you never know.
Yeah, that's true. But they did get pulled in after 2 teams not being able to attend to due to visa issues. So I find that very unlikely that they will be attending it. But still, you never know. It could go either way. I can imagine that maybe Immortals and C9 will be going through on that one. But again, that isn't the minor we're talking about. This is a CIS minor. This is obviously way better.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just... I think we should just end on that very note. This is much better. Either way... Up next, we will have All In versus Team Spirit. One of those teams will be going straight through. It's a best of 3, and we will have our first qualifier after the break.